All right, all right. Now we're going to jump into Tyler Perry's I Can Do Bad All By Myself. That's right. In this flick, we have three orphan children searching for family life with their only living relative, their aunt, played by Taraji P. Henson. Problem is, she's an alcoholic who exudes hatred for children.
Yes, Medea. You know what it is. This is DQ's Hot Clips. Take it to the clip.
You gonna call the cops on us?
I'm calling the po-po.
I don't know what's wrong with these children today. Where your people?
Do you know these children, Hooker?
That's my aunt.
What y'all want me to do? Help us?
April had lost her way.
What are these kids doing in this house?
These are my sister's kids, not mine. Y'all can't stay here.
I ain't never seen a more selfish person in my life. You need to get your life together fast.
All right. Listen.
Oh, I can do bad all by myself.
Listen. You know what? When I watch this movie, I'm saying to myself, I liked it and I didn't like it. Okay. It was like a half and half. First, we all know Tyler Perry's movies are always inspiring. They always got that humor. You know, they're funny movies. But then you get that other side where you feel like it's too preachy, a little too overbearing. And then it's like, you get torn in between a little bit.
I think, you know what I'm saying? Well, and I have a different take on it. I think this is a good movie. I think he has a church following. Okay, and they come to expect that, and they're looking for that. The church crowd is looking for a blessing. Right. They're looking for a message that's going to touch, you know, not only the kids, but it's also going to touch, you know, the adults. And I think he brings that. I think he delivers that well.
And that's the great part that I love. I mean, obviously, you know, if you're a spiritual person, you know, you're looking, and you see movies like this and you enjoy them because they're rooted in faith and God and inspiring people to do more, to be better human beings, especially working together in a family structure and building up your community. Definitely. And those are wonderful things.
But I think the problem is with these movies, I think that the transitions are a little bit extreme. Okay. I think they're coming off like plays. He's a playwright. Right. So I think they're coming off like plays, and I think that's what gives it that kind of, I don't want to say cheesy, but kind of B-level-ish, like, you know, 1 minute the guy is a handyman at the church, and then he's living in the house. You know what I'm saying? Then it's like, then, you know, then he's beating her. You know, it's like from one extreme to another. It's not really smooth transition.
Right. And that's exactly what I'm saying. You know, and Adam Rodriguez, who is a Mexican immigrant,
did a good job.
You know, all of a sudden the church sees him and says, wow, you could go do good work and handiwork. And then all of a sudden, they kind of like throw him in Taraji P. Henson's house to him be a handyman and stay in the basement while she's got 3 children living there and nobody knows him. Yeah. Like I said, it's like the transitions. You're going,
you're going to let this man into your house with these kids that just, and everybody's just sitting in your living room and you're going to sleep. You know, I mean, you know, every now and then he gets a little crazy with it. But the one, you know, shining moment in this movie is Taraji, you know, you fine, girl. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to slap it up, tie it, dye it, little red beans and gravy. I ain't too lazy.
You know what? Taraji P. Henson, she is fun. And you know what? I don't know if that was really her singing on some of those tracks in there because she plays a nightclub singer in there and an alcoholic. And, you know, basically the end all, the be all is her sister has passed away. And their 3 kids don't have the grandmother, and they're coming to live with her. She's the only person who can help take care of them. And that's great stuff, but she has such low self-esteem, and she's lost her love for family unity and all of that other stuff, and she's selfish. Right. So trying to bring that transition of her moving beyond that and learning how to love and to connect with other human beings, you know, and think about someone else other than herself, yo, her acting in this is solid.
Yeah, it is.
And it's believable.
Right. I think, you know? And also another shining moment in this movie is Hope Wilson.
Oh, Hope Wilson is rough.
I think she's on her way, man. I think she had some really, for her age, some really solid acting. There was a lot of emotion in there, and you know what I'm saying? And a couple of times I felt really bad, man.
Playing that little girl, you know, that's like in charge of making sure her little brother's okay and giving the insulin to the one that's diabetic and making sure they get to school and all that. You know,
and she's not eating and giving food to the little brothers, like stuff like that. You know, people go through every day. So, you know, a lot of this stuff is real deep, man.
And that's the aspect of this movie that I love. And I think in my opinion, it kind of opens the eyes to, white America, so to speak. And I don't mean that in any derogatory way, but it's the true depiction of a lot of things that go on in black life. Number one, when you have like incest, things like that go on, it's long been a lot of times in black culture, you stay quiet, you keep stuff in the house, you just deal with it and move on.
No counseling,
you don't
no
reveal
doctors.
it. There's no counseling, no psychiatric help, things like that.
You're dating a married man because he's paying your bills.
You
know what I'm saying? All that stuff, allowing people, to use and abuse you because they're paying your bills. You know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff goes on every day.
Definitely. And just overall, an aspect of the poverty and, just music. And this is a big part of the movie with Mary J. Blige and Gladys Knight in there, Marvin Winans as a pastor, how much the African-American culture embraces music to get through, difficult times and sadness. And, it's really deep when you start looking into the actual psyche behind this movie.
Definitely.
However, if you're not maybe aware of this or don't understand it, it may come across as weird, like, this seems a little cheesy.
And it came off like a musical. And also, one of the things I want to say, a little message, Mary. Okay, let's get in some acting classes, boo. Okay, you are a great singer. You are a great performer. Let's get into that acting 101. Okay, and let's work on that little craft a little bit.
But one thing that I did see from the sisters out in that crowd is
had
loving
fatties.
those outfits and them shoes and all that stuff. They come out, look at Mary's outfits and look at Taraji. They did it up with the little fashion thing,
did.
and that's a new wrinkle for Tyler Perry because fashion isn't kind of usually the thing in his
But he
movies.
knows how to bring beautiful black people on screen,
He does.
and it always looks good. So I'm looking for a call. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I'm fine.
Is it me? But that's my man Adam Rodriguez from CSI Miami. That's my man.
Yeah.
And he's a good actor.
He is.
But did he just not really mesh with Taraji P. Henson?
Yeah, it didn't look like they would be together.
And then my man Brian White from,
He did a good job.
He's in a lot of stuff. But he did a good job. But I just didn't believe the tiny little guy that's built like Tupac, that's 5'3", and all diesel with a flat stomach because you only weigh 105 pounds, is the tough guy that's not having it.
Right.
I just didn't believe it.
He didn't think the old boy was coming with it, and he did him in the head with
I just didn't believe it.
I thought, you know what I'm saying? I think, though, this is the first time I really saw him really, go outside of his little nice guy realm. I think he did a good job on this, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen. We're going to take a break.
Yeah.
When Yurma gets back, we're going to get into the all-important part of this show.
And before we leave, you know what it is. JustSayIt.com. Yo, please hit us up, blog about what you're hearing on the show. If you have anything you want to say, if you have any comments, questions, yo, please hit us up. JustSayIt.com.
When we come back, how much should you spend? You know what time it is. Yurma.
Peace.
Woo!